wanna talk about some BS on the podcast. Can we get a mic check? So give it up for your co-host Joe and Greg as they lay it down like a penis on your leg and talk about that nerd shit. It's urgent. Don't be late because the content is food-fed food on your plate. It's synergy. Entertainment history that conquers these topics like crack getting beat by Listerine. I wanna talk about some BS.
Hello, welcome to the Bearded Synergy Podcast. I am Greg Gavin, and we are back. I am alive. I was sick for about 2 weeks, but I made it out the other side.
Can we put the that soundbite of the Eric Bischoff theme music?
Yeah. I'm back. Yeah. Now, all the kids are sick too, and my 2-year-old has that.
This season.
Yeah, they all had the flu. My youngest has the hands, foot, and mouth disease, which is like a viral rash where she's got like blisters all over her body.
Oh, shit.
But that's not important because I'm back, love, and I'm better than ever, and I won't get fired from SmackDown and replaced with Bruce Pritchard or whatever his name was.
And then have a special about
darling.
it. And a special about it. I gotta watch it. I think it's like an interview process or something like this.
Yeah. Hey, who are you? What's your name? What do you want?
Oh, I want all your money. What's left? And the trees outside your house. Any tools
So do
you
I.
have. I want it all. My name is Joe Nelson.
Joe.
I'm being destroyed by Disney Plus. I am escapism all the way. Then I gotta pry myself away from it and look out the window and see all this stuff happening. There's stuff happening everywhere, Greg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's been a busy couple weeks. I mean, not just the wrestling, but just shit in general that we've just. I mean, Disney Plus especially, is the big one. But
it's just it feels like a fast season so far. I don't feel like I have like a lot of free time. I'm sleeping a little more than I should, but
it's all good. My grandpa used to come up to me because I like my afternoon naps, maybe an hour or two, and he'd just wake up and shake me like, "You can sleep when you're dead." I'm like, yeah, but I'll also die a lot sooner if I don't get any sleep.
It's very true.
What the fuck ever, dude?
Well, death is
Chill
gonna
out.
come how it comes.
But
yeah, sleep is good, man. I be eating those CBD gummies and they make me sleep hard.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I stay up late watching Disney Plus is the real problem. And then things just fucking overflow. The cup runneth over.
what is your go-to show so far on there?
I did like have the first season of the animated series from '94. Then I saw that they had Spider-Man Unlimited, and I completely wrote that show off when I was younger. So I dove into that motherfucker. It's weird, man. Jameson, JJ's kid, goes off into a dimensional rift and ends up on a counter Earth. And some dude did experiments with Darwinism. So there's a superior species of animal humanoid motherfuckers. Spider-Man's got to try to convince Jameson to come back to the regular Earth with him because he ended up over there too. The whole thing's kind of wacky, but I kind of can't tear myself away from it. It's pretty good. Did you watch any of it? Did you check this out?
I remember when it first came out, when I was, a bit younger, and they're like, "Hey, new Spider-Man," and I watched it for like the first few weeks, and then I just kind of forgot about it. I think Dragon Ball Z was still going on, so that more took most of my attention.
What about you? Have you found something on Disney Plus to kill some time with?
Yeah. I got it the day it came out, and like most people, it was just being kind of crappy, but that's expected. And
Wow.
everyone got all mad. They're like, "I can't believe it's having trouble." It's like, where have you been? Like,
It's weird. I didn't have
every
any
big,
issues with
like,
it,
release.
but I got to it like late in the day, so it was probably like after rush hour.
Yeah. Yeah, by around 7, maybe 8 o'clock, they seem to figure it all out.
People were having
I've been mostly watching the
login
Simpsons.
issues.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly like they click on something and it won't start up, or it won't load, or
I know the
things like that.
I know the episode list on the X-Men animated series was all kinds of fucking mixed up.
Yeah, it's all out of order, and
People were complaining about The
Spider-Man and all
Simpsons.
that. Yeah,
I've been having a good time with it. Have you seen The Mandalorian yet?
not yet. I'm kind of biding my time with it. I've been really sick, so I've been more or less bedridden, like unable to get up.
Oh, that's the
without,
time.
like, throwing
That's the
up.
time to watch TV.
So
Fuck it.
yeah. So I've been watching a lot of other stuff.
What are you watching?
Started watching Watchmen on HBO. Started watching.
How do you feel about that? Hold on. Let's stop there because I've heard a bunch about it, but I haven't seen it.
There's things I like and there's things I don't like. It goes off the comics and not the movie, which is probably for the best. And I could definitely tell it's well made. Script wise, it's good. Acting wise, it's good. There's not a lot of action in it, really. So it's kind of hard to really say about that.
I heard it was super political. Like it was just a political show.
It's not that political, really. I mean, everyone's like, it's like the KKK controls the world. Not really. They're still like considered a hate group, and they're only in like this one town. There are some things I like about it. It's like what I appreciated was they kind of put an emphasis on the bombing of Tulsa, Oklahoma, back in like the 20s, on a Black Wall Street. Basically, it was an area of Tulsa where in a time where minorities couldn't get a lot of jobs, in that area they really could, and they had a lot of money. And we don't really know exactly what happened. Basically, a white lady was with a black man in an elevator. They don't know what happened really, but he was accused of loosely raping, sexual harassment. The lady never said he did it, but all the white men came, and basically bombed. And when I mean bomb, I mean they were in like crop dusters, dropping like sticks of dynamite from the plane and dropping it on the buildings all around this area. And
That's
this is in
Philadelphia.
reality, and a lot of people don't know about it. And there was a big cover up. Like there's like 300 to 600. They confirmed wise, they only have 2 bodies buried. And they estimate around 300 to 600 people died, and they have no idea where they are. And they're just now starting to like worry about like, oh, we should probably find these bodies. It's been like 100 years.
Yeah, they're slacking a little bit.
Yeah. So it's nice that they showcase that because it's history, and I love that shit. But a lot of people might think that's not real because it's Watchmen and it happens in an alternative, fictional universe. Like,
yeah, they're expecting
where like they win Vietnam.
They're expecting some comic shit, and DC doesn't normally do like real cities or anything too realistic to the actual world. Everything's made up, Gotham and Metropolis and shit.
Yeah, well,
so it's a little swerve.
This is set in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And sorry, I burped.
Burp.
There's things I like about it, definitely, but there are some things that really just piss me off. Like just creative decisions, and they keep repeating it, where they have this emphasis of the ticking clock in the background for suspense and like high tense moments, which is fine. But then a lot of the characters will physically say tick tock, tick tock. Like, I think they showed in the trailer, and that's probably the one I'm like, okay, yeah, that was cool, whatever. Where he's like, our time's almost up, tick tock. It's like, okay, and then they keep doing it. It's like almost every episode, someone does it, even if it makes no sense. They got like this old guy in a wheelchair, and he's like, tick tock, tick tock. It's like, oh my god, just stop it. I get it. They're watchmen, clocks, doomsday. I get it. You don't need to keep. So there's things I don't really care about it, but
have you ever found yourself like grading television shows, like you talk about wrestling booking? Like at this point, like I just see television as like booking decisions.
Kind of, yeah. Especially now with us, with a podcast and, more or less being critics. I tend to do that.
I'm not a critic at all.
I've also
I do critique everything.
Yes. I mean, it's not like I have like a, I mean, it's not like I go around on restaurants and say I'm a critique. You better make me the best toast and eggs I've ever had in my life.
I would take that job.
You will surely regret it.
I would definitely take that job.
I've been watching Westworld, the first season.
What is this?
I've been wanting to watch that. I finally got onto it.
I don't know what this is,
Graham. And so far I definitely like it. It's a much better mystery, a much better pace than Watchmen is. Watchmen, they're trying to make it as a mystery, but it's just Watchmen feels kind of like Lost, where there's episodes and there's a lot of questions you want answered, but then they just throw in more questions at the end, and a lot of them are just out of left field, and you have no idea, like, what? I'm so confused. Where Westworld, you're watching, it's like, oh, okay, there's some answers, and oh, that's fucking amazing. I've also been watching, I think it's called His Dark Materials.
Oh yeah, I've seen promos.
Spin-off. Yeah, that's not bad. It's very kid friendly, which is fine for what it is. It's very well acted. The chick from Logan is really good.
Oh, that's where she went. Okay, because I heard she had a job. I wasn't sure where it was.
Yes, John Malkovich is good.
That's cool.
So I'm enjoying that. I never read the books. I never even saw the movie, so this is my first introduction to that. I'm enjoying that.
I saw there was a book. There's an Amazon store somewhere by my apartment.
Yeah, they have. They got 3 books, I think, and but so far that's pretty interesting. But there's only 3 episodes out of that, and there's like, I think 6 out for Watchmen. So that's kind of why I have a little more of an opinion on Watchmen, but I am excited to see where it goes.
I'm mainly stuck on, if I'm on Netflix, I'm watching The Office because I'm trying to finish that, and Disney Plus, just checking out the Spider-Man stuff. I did listen to Captain America: The First Avenger. I listened to it at work with the audio description on. Had the phone propped up somewhere in the corner. I was like, I'm gonna get some Marvel in.
Yeah, I'm kind of a hit and miss on Disney Plus, where there's parts of it where I like it because
it's got its pros and cons for sure
with it being on there. But there's things like where they ratio the Simpsons, where a lot of they ratioed it to like 16:9, so a lot of the screen is actually cropped out. Where
it does look odd.
A lot of the times you're missing a lot of stuff, and they have stuff on there that's not even watchable. Where you click on it, like I think Ant-Man versus Wasp, they have it on there, but you can't watch it because it's on Netflix or Endgame, and it's like, okay, that's great, and they say that like, dude, prior contract agreements. We will not be able to play this until this time. It's like, okay, then take it the fuck off. It's why do you have it on there then? Just take it off. Bring it up later.
Yeah, they're new to the game, man. They got some sloppy stuff going on.
I'm curious to see if they decide to bring on like the Fox movies, since I'm sure they own some of that now.
I'm sure they will over time.
Like the X-Men movies. And, they also have access to Bob's Burgers.
They do have Avatar on there.
So, yeah.
I watched a bit of it with the kids the other night.
Avatar's, it's good when I saw it, but I've never wanted to rewatch it. And I'm perfectly fine not rewatching it. It's just, it shows, movies, songs are just too heavy-handed where it's like, this is what you're gonna think and interpret this movie as. It's like, shut up. Don't tell me how to interpret things.
Do people question you about movies after?
Rarely. But I like to pretend they do.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, we are here to talk about wrestling. It's been a while since we talked about it. But there's a lot going on. My God, our last podcast episode, we were kind of like revving at the engines to get into it. We were almost just like, I want to talk about it for a little bit, but
yeah, right before
we decided not to.
we're catching it right before Survivor
Full
Series.
Gear was just
so it's like we're in between Full Gear and Survivor Series and NXT Takeover.
War Games, yeah. It's in Chicago. And you're going to War Games, right? Or is that still going on?
I am going to War Games, yes.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
They're nosebleed seats, but it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited. I've been watching NXT. I gotta tell you, Greg, NXT might be my favorite show right now.
NXT is very good. It's definitely between AEW and NXT by a country mile.
It kind of hits that sweet spot,
By a couple of country miles. Raw and SmackDown, they're just such a hit and miss. And a lot of this is probably going to be, Raw and SmackDown could do this. But I actually kind of want to focus a little bit more on what they're doing right with like AEW and NXT, which is...
Yes.
So it's a bit of a change. But
AEW's done some good stuff, and I'm excited to talk about some stuff.
Yeah, Full Gear was a lot of fun. Their weekly shows have been really good. And
there was some controversy behind it with that match.
Yeah.
The lights out match. I didn't understand. I thought it was okay.
The only way it's controversial is if you...
They weren't bleeding. It wasn't like a Sabu match.
Yeah, or like a Terry Funk and Mick Foley or whatever.
There's been worse.
Those matches are controversial if you don't like it.
Well, you could tell a lot of the stuff was gimmicked. You could just kind of feel. I've seen what barbed wire does in wrestling. Like, watch it a bunch of times. I've seen some Japanese death matches. Them shits are pretty crazy. New Jack is a lot more wild than this.
Oh yeah.
So it was. It was all right.
For me, it seemed more like a fun kind of hardcore match when you got Kenny Omega sweeping the back of Moxley with the barbed wire broom. They got that box spring filled with barbed wire and.
Yeah, I thought it was very entertaining.
Just other stupid things like Kenny taking out that bag of glass and putting Moxley in the sharpshooter. He's got to go all John McClane and kind of go prone across the glass to get to the ropes, which once I saw that, it kind of hit me. My God, John Moxley must really like Die Hard.
I'm sure he does.
His character reminds me a lot of John McClane, and I have a feeling like I heard that in an interview somewhere.
John McClane got over.
So maybe
It's not a bad path to go down.
It's not.
And his promos are really fucking solid.
Oh God, Moxley's definitely up there for me, especially lately.
I wish he
promo
would. I wish they would have let him do this in the other place.
Yeah, definitely. These AEW promos they're just getting over. There's the Moxley one where he freaks out on Tony Khan behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And then he goes around in the ring and he's just madder than all shit. And in those few seconds, he, he comes off as dangerous. He comes off as a threat, but he also comes off as someone that not only wants to hurt people, but he wants to make a point and he wants it to count. So he also has ambition, which for a hardcore wrestler is pretty unique. I mean, when you think of like hardcore wrestlers, a lot of them don't really get their hands in like title contention besides, Mankind. And, you got like Al Snow, Hardcore Holly. I mean, Hardcore Holly was in it for a little bit in that weird fucking rivalry with Brock Lesnar, but
yeah, but that was crazy. Though. Brock almost killed Bob.
Yeah, broke his neck.
Yeah, with and he did it on purpose too. There was no way. He just looked down and said, "Bye, Bob," dropped him. Yeah, and that Mick Foley thing was huge because WCW tried to leak it on their show, and everybody was like, "Well, fuck it, let's go watch that." And things turned. The tide turned.
That didn't turn out as we wanted. God, it's so nice to see how that's turned out. And then you got the Cody Rhodes like promos he's been doing lately, where those just been coming off so good. And
I'm a fan. I didn't see it at first. I wasn't sure. Like I respected what he was doing, but I wasn't sure like how he could be as like that top like fucking guy. And he's not trying to take that spot either, which is very intriguing. He's like if he wanted that spot, he'd have that spot. Jericho's holding it until they figure someone out.
Yeah, Cody's really good with like storytelling, like in the ring, very good. Which is
I'm very impressed.
So fantastic. I mean, there's not very many others that could really do it like that. I mean, like top of my head right now, I gotta think of like the Ciampa and Gargano matches, where those are very good storytelling, like in the ring, where the stuff they did. And Cody's definitely up there, and he's probably above it. He's probably the best in the world right now in terms of in-ring storytelling, and that's a thing that WWE has gotten away from.
That's the heart of it, though. Like the heart of wrestling is the storytelling. Like that's the whole thing. That's why that kayfabe thing was, kind of significant. So when performers will do that, they feel like real students. They feel more authentic, and Cody hits it.
Yeah, I mean, in that John Moxley, that initial, I think it was the Jericho interview, where he initially came out.
Which I love that feud, by the way.
Against WWE. Yeah, and he was talking about how he's not an actor, and if, they want actors and they should hire actors, but he's not an actor, he's a wrestler. But in a way they are actors, just not in the typical way, they're actors in that ring where, sometimes it's so simple where you hurt the knee. What are you going to do with the knee? Like, a good example would be that Full Gear match with the Young Bucks and LAX, or the Pride and Powerful, or whatever the hell they're called now.
Yeah, it's
where I think it's Matt Jackson or Nick Jackson, whichever one of the Young Bucks went to kick one of them and he missed, and he kicked the ring post, and they told a story with that.
All right, but hold on, that's like,
it could be so simple.
You reminded me of something. I wasn't sure if I was going to remember this. That's one of my grievances with AEW. Here's the thing: if you're gonna perform, you gotta sell, right? He shouldn't have done so many fucking high spots moved with that quote unquote injured leg. That's now I'm not buying it. Like, it's a fun match. It was very exciting to watch, but it was almost like dessert. I was like, this is sweet, but it has no real foundation to it. You can't just turn it on and off. Like, if your leg is hurting, I imagine everything you do after that is going to increase that pain. and that shit's gonna show. It just kind of took it out for me. And then I started realizing AEW is pretty quick. Like they don't take time. Like the Jericho stuff and the Moxley stuff, Cody, like those guys, a lot of good storytelling. But some of the other cats, they just like lightning. This is like watching fireworks happen a lot. And then I think that's why I started favoring NXT, because they found like that, like it's spots, but it's slow and it builds.
I mean, Raw and SmackDown are their own, forms of mediocrity, where AEW's like, it's high class, but it's more fun, it's more upbeat, it's more fast paced, and there's a lot more comedy to it as well, like mixed in. And NXT is much more your, grounded, like working class kind of, it's very skillful, and in terms of like selling and things like that more consistently, NXT's definitely got that.
And then Raw SmackDown is a lot of
above
headlocks.
all the others. Yeah, it's a lot of like transitions and roll ups or, DQs.
Yeah, a lot of no contests.
Raw and SmackDown's matches, especially lately, just feel like they're there to fill time, which of course that's what it is for. But if you're not using that time to tell a story, then why the hell are you telling it? Or why are you showing it? Where every match on NXT that I watch, it feels unique. It has its own flavors, because you could have one match with Pete Dunne and I think it's Damian Priest is his name. That's going to be its own fucking...
Yeah, and Pete Dunne is fantastic, man. That guy is... What a hard worker.
Dunne is great.
Good for him.
Yeah, and then you go to something like fucking Keith Lee and that big stereotypical Rocky villain. I forget his name. And it's going to piss me off that I don't remember it. Dominic Dijakovic, I believe.
Which movie?
Dijakovic. Well, any of the Rocky movies, really. But for a while, Keith Lee was having that rivalry with that Dijakovic guy. Where those two are going to have their own kind of match, and they're very unique. Where every match you see on there is going to be, and then you got something like a Dakota Kai versus like a Shayna Baszler or whatever. NXT alone made Raw and SmackDown more watchable. And because at times now, it feels like a legitimate chore to watch it, where I have to like keep reminding myself, okay, it's only an hour and 50 minutes left. Okay, I can get through this, Where with Dynamite and NXT, it ends, and then I look at the clock. I'm like, oh, God damn it! I want more.
Yeah, I have a weekly objective board, and catch up on wrestling is always on there. I'm like, I gotta fit in time for this shit.
And it's really saying something when, oh God, Crown Jewel happened too. My God.
That's what we were gonna talk about in the first place.
Yeah, it was
fucking Fiend.
Man,
like we haven't talked since the Fiend got the championship, let alone change the color of the belt. Vince, it's a belt.
Oh yeah.
Just so you know.
Okay. So let's try to keep some narrative.
So WWE does have some stuff going on. That Rey Mysterio storyline. If he can get this championship, I will be all kinds in favor.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should probably make some predictions. Maybe towards the end.
Velasquez helps Mysterio win the WWE championship. Survivor Series.
Hopefully, yes. But
no DQ match.
When you think, no DQ. When you think back on Crown Jewel, what are some things that stick out to you?
That's a hard question, Greg.
I mean,
that was such a long time ago.
I mean, like, to me, out of the Saudi shows, I would say this is definitely the best of the bunch.
Oh, it was definitely a step forward. It was a step in the right direction for sure. I wasn't mad at it. Normally I'm mad at these shows. I'm not I wasn't excited for it at all. I remember maybe talking shit about it. I don't know.
Yeah, not really. There wasn't a lot of hype going into it for us. I know we're just like, yeah, I mean, we'll watch it to laugh at it.
But
I was like,
I watched it. I was like, this is a
bad.
good show. There's some good stuff going on.
I remember being surprised by the Tyson Fury, Braun Strowman match and how long his entrance was.
Yeah, what a long ass entrance. Jesus.
That Tyson Fury entrance reminded me of JBL's debut on Raw back in like the mid 2000s. It was like 5 minutes. JBL came out, and every time he raised his arm up, the fucking pyro would go off just nonstop, and he did that like 6-7 times.
I really didn't imagine that much pyro for this dude.
It's probably on YouTube. You can.
I did not expect so many musical transitions in the theme song.
It's like do 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 do. It's literally like a 6-minute entrance of him just fucking blasting pyro.
And now we might see this guy again. He wants to do it again.
I do not.
You know they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it at a WrestleMania. Of course they're gonna do it.
I mean, I don't want to see it, but I can believe it.
Because what?
Especially with
what's
him.
he gonna have Braun do?
Fucking headstrong. Team up with that kid again. This time he's going through puberty. He tries to scream in his puberty-shrill voice, and it scares Cesaro and injured Sheamus. You're like, run away.
I miss Sheamus.
I really miss
Sheamus.
Scares away the War Raiders.
Oh my goodness.
Or the Viking Experience. My God, whatever the hell it is, Viking Express.
We're starting to hit the shadows of the WWE again. There they are.
Yeah, it's the Lacey Evans and
Natalya.
Natalya
what a cool
match,
man.
That was and they and I was listening to the crowd to see if there was any like weird objectors, and there really wasn't.
No, there was
men,
a drink.
Women were all pretty into it. So I was
But throughout the match, it was cool to watch the match because the crowd seemed really into it. They seemed with it, and that was cool to see.
Yeah, and it seemed like they gave them some time and they were able to showcase themselves too without,
Oh, and whoever threw that cup at Natalya, fuck you. What a rude thing to do.
Yeah, fuck off. We'll find you, and I'll shove my foot so far up your butt that my boot will become your hat. And then obviously the Fiend winning, was a
definite highlight. I definitely didn't expect that shit.
Yeah, I mean, once he got drafted to SmackDown, it's like, okay, they just want to finish this out. But
they're gonna kill his character. Yeah, it felt like they were like, all right, my bad, and I was like, fair play. Especially with the move to SmackDown, because now, I mean, they're fucking Seth up for sure right now, but
move away from Seth. Seth is a sinking ship. I mean, Seth is great in the ring. He's having great matches, but
I thought the move to NXT wouldn't have been a bad idea. When Triple H came out and said it, I was like, hi.
But
because what are they going to do with him?
I don't know what they're going to do with him, but they need to keep Seth Rollins off the mic because he's drowning.
He's fucking it up.
Every time he touches that mic, he's just not good at it, which some people aren't. It's no big deal. He's great in the ring. Stop having him do so many goddamn suicide dives.
Well, you know what it is?
He's
It's
becoming too predictable.
him saying his catchphrases so many fucking times. Like he's stripping away his ability to grow.
Oh yeah, he keeps trying to add it, burn it down.
Yeah, it's clouded up. It's like a NASCAR sticker. You know, it's all clouded up. Just have a fucking promo. Use that time. Tell the story.
I don't know. Stuff is frustrating because I'm not sure how they could fix it. It kind of almost seems like how Roman was, where they're just over showcasing him, they're over scripting his dialogue, where people just want to see him kick ass. You know, they don't want to.
Well, I mean, you can
hear his weird, corny remarks.
I feel like they gotta figure out that balance of championship reigns. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much time can you spend on one person and neglect other people? Because after a while, it shows, and that's what it is. It's like, why do you keep giving this guy the opportunity? This guy the opportunity. What about that dude?
I think if people are seeing the same goddamn moves every week from the same person, almost like a musical routine.
Yeah, they're playing the same song.
And then
they're playing the single every week. She's playing the single.
Yeah, it's, you know, suicide dives, you know, a bunch of curb stomps. It's every time any of those moves happen, I could physically feel the eyes roll into the back of my head and down my throat.
Oh,
it's
snap.
like, God damn it.
To keep water with you for that.
And
or chamomile tea.
Yeah. What did you think about the superstars being stuck in
That's right. That should happen
in
too.
Saudi Arabia?
Man.
Yeah, Vince leaving them behind.
But, I mean,
and only like Brock Lesnar made it out because he had a private plane.
Well, you
So
know
he
that's
was
why
the
he
only
opened.
one to show
That's
up
why
on
he opened the
SmackDown.
show. He's like, I'm gonna get out before any of that shit happens. Brock's smart, man.
Yeah, definitely
Fucking smart. Yeah, what a way to drop the ball. And then people went to go try to get another flight, and then that got delayed too. Is that what happened?
It was WWE said that there were engine troubles.
What's a terrible excuse?
Apparently, it was.
Oh yeah, Vince wanted his
Saudi
money.
Arabia. Yeah, Vince wanted his
That's
money,
right.
and
Oh my goodness, Vince
confronted the crown prince, and they had an argument, and he left.
And then they extended
And
the
after
contract
the show
for
was
like
done,
8 years. What is this?
yeah, it's a lot
How
of time.
could so much
but
stuff have
it's-
happened such a small period of time?
Yeah, there was. Vince kept saying, "Oh no, it was mechanical issues." But AJ Styles had an interview, and he was saying how, you know, he wanted to go back home and catch his, you know, I think one of his kids had like a soccer game or a wrestling match, you know, some kind of after school activity that he wanted to get to. So he went up to the pilot
Nice move, AJ.
of the
Good
plane
stuff.
because they were stuck there, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on? You know, I got this to go to," and the pilot said something along this ominous line, saying, "We cannot go yet," or "You cannot go." It was something,
You cannot go yet.
you know,
You will stay.
instead of, you know, it was where usually they'll be like, typically in customer service, if there's a problem with the plane, they may be vague about the details. You know, they might not say, "Hey, you know, the motor fell out, we got to duct tape it," you know, but they'll say like, "Hey, you know, it might be 2 hours." But he was just like, "We cannot leave," with no time estimation at all. And they ended up staying there for a very long time. But the wrestlers said they were treated well. I mean, they weren't like held up or anything, but
It's still inconvenient.
I think it was definitely a message.
Stop taking time from people.
I think it was definitely the prince sending a message like, "Hey, motherfucker." And the thing is, the plane company did not have like records of any like like plane failures or anything like
Of course
that.
he didn't. He just wanted his money.
So, yeah, but that's a whole
Greg,
thing.
do you know when the WWE
But-
can be completely safe from, like, sucking or, making bad decisions? It's when Triple H moves up.
Maybe having a time
No,
machine.
Triple H moves up. This motherfucker is doing so well in
Yeah, yeah.
NXT. He did well with 205 Live.
Yeah, and I guess 205 Live has been canceled. I've looked. They showed it like one time on Fox, and since then they seem to have canceled it like the day of it was going on, and they just never did it. And that was I think the week. Yeah, October 11th. That was around when we recorded.
I wonder what they're gonna do with the talent.
But a lot of them moved to
Those
NXT.
wrestlers.
Like
I know.
yeah, like the cruiserweight titles being showcased on NXT now, and yeah, Drew Gulak's had some matches.
Yeah, Leo Rush has been on NXT, and you know what? I'm so happy that he's doing what he's doing, because when he was with Bobby Lashley, I didn't like this motherfucker at all. I'm like, you got to get him another job. So this is what he's doing now is good. My opinion matters anyways, but I'm happy for the motherfucker. It's a better spot.
Yeah, man. How weird is that half of the roster, and by half I mean they had like so many giant battle royals in that fucking show in Saudi that so many people were stuck over there, and to carry over the burden or whatever, NXT showed up and it became like, I mean, probably the top 10, top 5 best SmackDown episodes ever.
Yeah, that was a great audible.
With that little time.
A great audible.
That was, god damn, I love that episode so much. It was, Jesus Christ. I mean, I have not had that feeling of just not knowing what was going to happen since I was little. And like watching wrestling, where, you got like RVD and, the Hardys running around and all that shit.
Yeah, that Daniel Bryan.
I mean,
Adam Cole.
Yeah. Since I've been like more critical of it, of the product, Raw and SmackDown just have been a bummer for me. But that show was fantastic. God, it was great.
Yeah, I was very happy with it, and everything so far since then it's been all right. It hasn't been completely terrible, but I'm not as disappointed in leading up to Survivor Series as I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a little weird with, Survivor Series. They've only been together. The brand's only been put together for like a month, and they're like, we have all this brand loyalty. For NXT, though, it makes sense because that very much does feel like a loyalty thing.
Yeah, Lucha House Party just jumping people on Raw.
That was so random.
Like Lucha House Party for real? You're supposed to be the happiest motherfuckers in the ring.
I don't think I've seen Lucha House Party in like a competitive match since the dinosaurs roamed the earth. I mean, I know the Lucha Dragons in NXT won the tag titles for a little bit, like early on. But since then,
Luchasaurus,
they've done nothing.
Fantastic. So happy that motherfucker popped up.
Yeah, Luchasaurus is, I mean, my God. I mean, there's so much I want to get to. My God, Luchasaurus is probably the best thing on the planet right now.
It's weird because we went to
Who fucking knew?
We went to WWE, but
I mean,
AEW still has so much more.
I mean, it's just that, you take maybe a few seconds, make a baseline okay in this episode, NXT invades or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything gargantuan. It could be something as stupid as Luke Perry's son, dressed up as Tarzan, being saved by a guy in a fucking lucha dinosaur costume. As ridiculous as that sounds, it's fucking amazing. wrestling doesn't have to be so scripted and thought out and micromanaged. It can be fun. And that episode of SmackDown felt fun and unpredictable.
Well, I think that was the
and
heart of the Attitude Era too. Is they were, everybody seemed to have a good time. And that came through in the product.
Yeah, definitely. And their promos weren't so like rigid and frozen. And it seems like Becky Lynch is kind of getting back into her like comfort zone with her promos, like where she.
Yeah, I think the NXT thing helped with her a lot too.
Yeah, where Shayna Baszler confronted her, and you could tell Becky just fucking loved it. She's like,
yeah, that was a very interesting face-off.
And now Becky's punching fucking male security guards right in the jaw and shit.
It was the way for her to hit the next level, man.
And it really seems like she's getting her edge back. And for a while, though, it seemed like Bayley was kind of an afterthought. And then Bayley invaded NXT, which, out of all the things I thought would happen, I did not imagine Bayley invading NXT to beat up on Shayna Baszler.
It made sense.
That was amazing.
It made sense because that was really the heart of her problem was Shayna didn't really involve her. Bayley has been like incredibly desperate to, like, I'm a threat, motherfuckers. Well, what about me?
And it's just that it's that simple. The story should be that simple. You got 3 champions. You got this big bad fucking. I mean, excuse my language, big bad bitch in NXT. Shayna Baszler
just pummels
fucking
people,
running her way with NXT. Becky Lynch, who has been running high. She's. I would argue Becky Lynch is probably the face of the company right now. Then you got Bayley, who's kind of an afterthought. In NXT, Bayley was adored. And she moved up and she got treated as a joke. And so I'm happy with her heel run, but
I don't know. It's kind of bland. I don't know. I thought I would like a little more, I don't know, conviction.
I mean, if I was managing it, I think I'd do it a little differently. But, I mean, she's at least being showcased and all that. And, she's getting more time to build shit up. So I'm happy for her. But
yeah, she's got time with the title because she deserves the title. I just thought, her heel run would be more heel.
Yeah, definitely. A little more like attitude and
so when she comes over to NXT and starts, hitting motherfucker, I'm like, okay, there you go.
Yeah, being very negative all the time, kind of like an emo kid.
It's like somebody took her teddy bear away.
But yeah, it's so strange how NXT just showing up can elevate the shows like that.
And it's all because Saudi Arabia.
And it's such a shame because, it's weird because they have all these NXT guys facing off against all these former NXT guys. And you got them with like Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn's like, I was the face of NXT for a while, and he was. And, they're facing off like Drew McIntyre, Bobby Roode, all these guys where when they were in NXT, that was like sometimes really big highlights, like in all their careers. And now they're in here and they've been just kind of, following the same track, so to speak. So
they move up to be mid-carders is what it is.
So it's a little odd to see them kind of defending the brands when they're going against the company. Well, not the company, but the show that kind of gave them that spotlight. So it's a bit odd when you start to pick at it.
Especially when he's supposed to be a heel.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be a bad guy. You hate these motherfuckers. Come on.
And that's kind of the one real flaw I have with this NXT invasion is it's kind of muddying up some of the rivalries I got going on. Because, Ciampa's now, kind of teaming up with Keith Lee and Matt Riddle, which is like, okay. I mean, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, I get. Ciampa's more of a loner. He's more in it for the gold.
I mean, they might do
kind of person. Very.
I mean, he had time away.
So
I mean, if they were going to make that transition into him being more of a teammate for it, after a break would have been slightly better, I guess.
I hope after this he kind of goes back to how he was, because Ciampa is one of the best heels around. Like almost to the core. Like on Twitter, he just threatens everybody. He's a total dick on there, and
Is
I
he
love
still
it.
doing that?
I haven't been on Twitter in a while, but last I checked, he was. But if there's any flaw I could point out with that, it's probably that it's kind of complicating the NXT stuff, where now NXT has to also promote War Games, but also promote their war with these other two
Yeah,
brands.
they're doing double duty for sure.
And
they got a double header.
definitely. And War Games is going to be nuts. And a lot of these people are wrestling matches the next night. So it's goddamn.
You better pay them. You better pay those motherfuckers.
I get so goddamn frustrated with Raw and SmackDown, especially when NXT is so goddamn good, where they're pulling double duty like this. And a lot of them are getting injured. I mean, fucking Gargano got injured. I mean, who knows how long he's going to be out. Mia Yim got hurt.
That's the thing about this high impact wrestling nowadays, though. And when they take bumps, these guys are taking fucking bumps. They still do brainbusters down there.
Yeah.
Not down there, but over there.
Yeah. What was it? Mia Yim suffered a nasal fracture, and she got a fractured rib, and she's day to day. Like, she's not even out. She's day to day, and she's still like scheduled to work in War Games, I think, which is like, my God, these people are nuts. And what was it? Adam Cole had like a broken hand, and he wrestled with Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins in a week and sold in NXT.
Yeah, that was.
It's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
And then use the cast in the match. Yeah, You know, I always think, because I do factory stuff. Like if I get injured, I gotta rest, because I fuck my body up over this. It's just work. But then I think about these guys, and they just fucking get injured and going at it again, working, taking bumps. Like, good for you guys.
Yeah.
Fucking get that. If you can recover, fucking recover.
Like, I'm getting to the point where I kind of only feel like watching NXT and AEW almost like exclusively, but then of course NXT guys move up, so to speak, and then I want to see what they do there, but they don't do fucking anything. I mean, like fucking Aleister Black is still doing that door thing, and he's
I would rather see him
on a damn
I would rather
thing.
see that time in the ring than in promos. Like, still give him the time.
Yeah,
like, he's getting a little bit of time. Give him a little bit more. Put him in the ring. Have some fucking matches. That'd be a better story.
What did you think of, since we're on NXT, what did you think about AJ Styles and the OC invading?
Well, I'm always happy to see AJ. I was happy. I was happy with the match overall. Wasn't bad. I wish it would have been a finish.
It was kind of a clusterfuck, because, I understand it. They're trying to combine all these angles, and, NXT is pulling double duty. It's like, okay, we got our own pay-per-view coming up, and we also got to promote these guys also for Survivor Series. So I feel bad for NXT, but it was so interesting, and there's that one thing with Finn Balor and AJ Styles kind of looking at each other, and it's like, ooh, fucking awesome.
I think that's where it started to go off the rails for me, was because they had that moment, and I was like, oh, they're going to do something with it. And then there was more interference, and they were trying to tell too many stories at once, because they're doing double duty. And if some of these moments were just had their own time, it would have set them off even more.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you look at like Raw and SmackDown compared to NXT again, where NXT has all these different stories, and they're still trying to make time to mesh them even when it's inconvenient, just for the sake of at least trying to explain it. But I mean, when you look at Raw, what the hell's going on? Like, Rusev and Lana and Bobby Lashley. And
I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of that story.
I'm okay with it.
I'm trying to take my girlfriend's kid to a wrestling show, and I gotta stay away from that one because Lana in there talking about sex.
It's in our last wrestling episode. I made the comparison that it feels like a middle schooler wrote it, and I'm gonna kind of double down on it because my God, it feels like it. It's like a middle schooler's like. It's like he has a crush on a girl and he doesn't know how they would act.
And then he has random bursts of aggression around her, and she's okay with it.
Then he makes out with her over the body.
It's just weird, man.
Yeah, and then they're getting like sensual massages or whatever, and then they're in bed like just making out. I mean, that's what I want to do with Becky. Yeah, I mean, it just,
I'm okay with it.
That whole story just feels like a middle schooler got
I'm
hold of
okay
it.
with giving Bobby Lashley, like, some good momentum and stuff like this, under the right circumstances. But they didn't have to bury Rusev like this. And then showcase this kind of fucking garbage ass storyline on television to do it. That's not a good sacrifice.
Apparently, a lot of this is Rusev and Bobby Lashley and Lana's planning. I guess they have a lot to do with it.
This is what they came up with. They thought this was a good idea.
Apparently, and Rusev's like happy. It's like on the forefront of the show, but it's just that it's the only thing going on. Everything else is NXT related. NXT is fueling all the other rivalries right now.
You sleeping on that Rey Mysterio storyline, man. That's what got me watching. That's the only thing that had me watching. Like, that's the thing that drew me in the most.
That's true.
I'm all in on Rey Mysterio right now because I love that motherfucker, and I was waiting for them to make it worth it. That he even came back to them. He didn't have to go back to them. But he did, and they kind of just
grabbed a pipe, beat Brock Lesnar with it. It was great. There is some weird things though, where like they're trying to explain that Brock Lesnar can't show up on Raw.
Yeah, that was odd.
And then
I could have
that very night you got like Bailey showing up. Just it's like,
you put that right before the NXT fucking debacle and everybody jumping brands and beating each other up and shit. That's just bad timing for a line like that. You sloppy motherfuckers.
We have like years of evidence of Brock Lesnar showing up when and where he was. Then all of a sudden he has to follow the rules.
The Brock and Goldberg build up. The match was garbage. But leading up to that was dope. It's because they were jumping shows and buying tickets and doing some shit.
Mm-hmm. So, but. Raw doesn't have a lot of stories. Rey Mysterio, Brock Lesnar's looking good, and Rusev and Lana, Bobby Lashley is. I mean, it's popular.
Yeah, I'm happy he's getting attention, but
it's getting a lot of traffic. I'm happy to see.
I would have rather done
getting cheered again.
Rusev Day. I would have rather capitalized on that.
Yes. Yeah.
Like he's not. I mean, like he's not gonna get bigger than when he did there. Like that was his peak for his. Like he was huge. They chant that shit in other people's matches.
Yeah, man, that was like Kofi Mania kind of stuff. Which, by the way, Kofi, it just makes me so sad looking back on it now. It's just seeing that match of Brock Lesnar, and he hasn't done anything. I mean, they won the tag titles, but it's like he completely forgot about the title.
I would have been all right with him dropping the title to Brock if it was, not such a fucking squash. And that jumping on his shoulders really fuck with me. You can't, like, really.
Yeah, it's
like that's where his move is. What you jumping on that spot for?
Yeah, that was a major ball drop, especially since Brock didn't even drop the title to Kane. I mean, that match is over in like a couple minutes. And apparently Velasquez was injured already. So, I mean, that might have played into their booking where it's like, okay, just end it quick.
I wanted to see her Corona. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, but we'll see how the Rey Mysterio one turns out. I got a bad feeling that they'll just have another squash match. We're just like, but I got my fingers crossed that it'll at least be good. So I'm hoping it will be.
Well, if they fuck it up, I'm still gonna watch, but I'm not gonna like it even more. You hear me, Vince? You hear me, motherfucker?
He hears. He knows what he did.
He's almost the reverse baby.
Don't ask.
Like when you get old, you like a baby again. He's gonna get there, making all these decisions and shit.
There's so many thoughts I have about Raw and SmackDown, but it just gives me a headache, and I don't want to get a headache. But
well, hold on. So there are pros though. There's the Fiend, right?
Yeah, the Fiend and Daniel Bryan, and
yeah, what's going on with Daniel Bryan? This is interesting.
I did like that they tied in the past rivalry with Daniel Bryan and him.
Yes.
And that's a cool thing with this Fiend character because he seems to be going after people that have related to Bray Wyatt's past, which I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank God. There's some
method to the madness.
It's like WWE is so... It's like they're so afraid of using their past. And they're one of the few mediums that can really benefit off of that.
If you're gonna have
there's so many
present the show of Raw every week with saying the longest running episodic television show in history.
Utilize your rivalries. It's not,
and that would boost the WWE network sales more too.
It's so frustrating. I can tell you how frustrating. But I was so happy to see that with Daniel Bryan, and
yeah, that's where I want Daniel Bryan to go. So these are all the things I want from Santa.
I was also very pleased to see how they kind of explained Daniel Bryan's thinking, like how they explained his kind of face turn and kind of the way he's been acting. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm like mentally odd, you know, and this guy's weird too, and that's why he, weird, game recognized game, So I dug that. I do have like a weird question.
All right,
for
I have
you.
an odd answer.
What do you think? What do you think is in Rowan's weird like cage that he's got that he does the baby talk to? We'll make a prediction and we'll see if we're right because we've been pretty good.
I thought you said
yeah,
Roman.
He's got that weird cage with bacon on it.
Shit nowadays. Yeah.
Not Roman Reigns. Rowan. He's like, oh,
I don't know, and I
got a feeling.
Don't care. You tell me what your feeling is.
Yeah. I mean, I got a feeling it's maybe that like the head of Perry Saturn's like weird mop or whatever that he had.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
That'd be so
yes, please.
great.
What a callback to the history that would be.
Yeah, Perry Saturn shows up. How dare you? Or like, or
you love that fucking.
Maybe they want to tie him back in with the Fiend.
Huh?
Who knows?
No, I don't think it's gonna.
Maybe they want to tie him in with the Fiend.
He looks like he's on a solo venture.
I would rather them not. Rowan's doing good in the ring. He's having really good matches. I'm happy for how he's doing. So
yeah,
I'd
he's
rather
been figuring himself out. I liked when he was doing the metal T-shirts. He had a Killswitch Engage T-shirt on one night. I think it was like a SmackDown or some shit. I was like, yes. He was with it was a tag team match with Luke Harper, which I dig Luke Harper. I hope that motherfucker finds a good route.
Yeah, he made a tweet about being stuck in Saudi Arabia, and he hasn't really been on since. So hopefully he finds something for him to do because he deserves it because he's a talented motherfucker.
I think he'd be good. I think he'd be good in AEW. They need someone to slow the pace a little bit, and he could do that and keep up at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got Ring of Honor or Impact. Impact's kind of climbing back up. They got RVD now and all that, and you could see it on Twitch, and Twitch is free. So
I heard something they might put the world title on a female wrestler. They got one of those storylines going.
that'll be interesting.
I haven't seen Impact in fucking years. Although Pluto TV, that television app, has it playing 24/7.
Yeah. They got that, and you can watch it on Twitch, which Twitch is nice.
For real?
Yeah, they got Jack Ryan, the guy with the superpower dick.
Oh my goodness.
I enjoy that motherfucker so much. Have you seen this guy and his like clips on YouTube?
Yeah, it looks like it's doing a snapmare to somebody or some shit.
Yeah, it's so dumb, but I love wrestling humor, and God, that shit makes me laugh so much.
No, yeah, it definitely has its place. If there's a place for Doink the Clown, there's a place for Muscle Dick.
Him, Grado, Orange Cassidy, Broken Matt Hardy. There's definitely a place for it. So it's nice to see it every now and again.
I miss Matt Hardy. I feel like I gotta mention him every once.
Yeah,
in a
Matt
while.
Hardy needs some love every now and again. It's like, we love you, Matt. Well, for Survivor Series and War Games, do you want to do some predictions?
I wish I could, but I don't have the cards in front of me.
I do.
Do you have the cards?
I do.
Give them to me. Let's do it.
Okay.
If I don't know who
We're gonna
it is,
we're gonna start with War
pick one.
Games, November 23rd, Chicago, Illinois. Dun dun dun. Joe will be present. Okay.
Allstate Arena. Yeah.
Yeah. We got the War Games match itself. We got Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong versus Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijovic, and To Be Determined. So
Yeah, that's the odd part there.
yeah.
They're really waiting.
So have you seen the modern matches with War Games?
I haven't. So it's cool that the first one's gonna be live.
They're all good. Since they've been doing it,
But I have heard that they're not as good as they used to be. Is that true?
I'm not too familiar with it, but I've enjoyed them. I know last year was really cool.
I'm gonna have to consult with the WWE.
Yeah,
network.
last year it was the War Raiders, Pete Dunne and Ricochet versus Undisputed Era, and they ended up, they got them in the cages up on the top, and they ended up, when the last member, I think it was Bobby Fish, came out, he had his own lock, in his Speedos, and he came out and he double locked their door, and he threw away the key. So there was this thing where Pete Dunne was still stuck in the cage and they couldn't get him out. So for a while, Undisputed Era was beating on them 4-on-3. So
Oh, that's smart.
yeah.
Smart.
So they've been doing some good storytelling with it. Undisputed Era.
All right, so what's
They've been in both of them so far.
what's the format of this match?
Well, it's the double. It's the
What are the rules for me, because I'm under a rock, and everybody else under Dwayne Johnson.
so it's 4-on-4, and you kind of think of it like an elimination chamber where times goes off, and someone gets picked, and you got on the stage, you got these two kind of shark cages on the ground, and the teams are in their own cage, and they both start out with one from each team, usually their leader. So in this case, it'll probably be Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole. And then, however, I think on NXT, I think it's tonight actually, they were going to decide who gets the time advantage, who gets the first pick or whatever for their team to come in to get the initial advantage. So whoever does that, their team will come out.
Oh.
So then it'll be 2-on-1. After a few minutes, then the other team comes out, and so on. And they have that time to get weapons out in the cage Once the final person is in, they lock the cage and they can't get any more weapons. And then that's
Nice.
when you could start doing like pitfalls and all that weird shit. And then chaos ensues. So it's like a
Now that's a good way to
double
watch
end
people
steel
kinda beat
cage,
each other up.
weapons, all that shit. It's a lot of fun. And they usually mix in some storytelling in between there. So it's really nice.
Well, I'm excited. I'm pretty sure Undisputed Era is going to pick it up.
Yeah, they won the first one, which is a couple years ago, and they lost the last one. So, yeah.
I think with how much they've been putting on Adam Cole lately, I don't know if they'd have him lose at this.
I mean, with them having
especially if he lost last year.
With them having all the titles, it kind of feels like they should win. And with the last person to be determined,
yeah, that'd be a ballsy move. Make all your champs look like chumps.
Then I gotta take Undisputed Era. Then we got another War Games, the first female one. Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray,
Yes.
and Bianca Belair, because their other member got injured. Versus Rhea Ripley, Tegan Knox, Mia Yim, and Candice LeRae. Mia Yim is on day-to-day with her nose and her ribs. So they might throw in Dakota Kai, which I love Dakota Kai. But
yeah, that'd be a good pick.
Yeah, I'm going to probably go...
I gotta go Shayna.
All right. I'll go Rhea Ripley, Tegan Knox. Tegan Knox is returning and all that from her... she's had 2 ACLs kind of back-to-back, so I think they'll try to push her, hopefully.
Oh.
Hopefully she don't get hurt again.
Good for her for coming back.
So we'll have to watch out for her, make sure she don't get hurt. And fucking everything with Ripley's just awesome. I love everything she's in. All right, so you got Shayna and all them, the horsewoman, and well, not really. It's just one of them. Then Io Shirai, Bianca. Well, no, Io's really good. Bianca's really good. God, that'll be a good match. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
Well, all right, we got.
It's fun that they're letting the women do all this stuff too. The gimmick matches.
All right, then we got Matt Riddle versus Finn Balor. Matt Riddle filling in for the injured Johnny Gargano. He has like an injured.
Take Finn on this one.
Yeah. It's pretty short build considering, but it's understandable with him being injured. He's got an injured knee.
Yeah,
injured head.
I hope Johnny gets better soon.
I mean, with all the matches Gargano's
I've been having
in,
fun watching Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how I'd feel on him when I started watching. He's got good ring presence and shit.
Yeah,
you can tell he cares. I believe him when he says he cares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his matches lately have been very good. So him and Finn Balor should be a real slugfest.
That's gonna be fun to watch.
That'll be fun. Yeah, I probably gonna take Finn because he's returning. It's his first big match. He's coming back, so I think they'll wanna. And Finn was one of the really big showcases in early NXT, so I think they'll really try to.
I don't think they'd move him just to burn him.
And Matt Riddle's lost some big matches. There was a.
Well, it's one of those safe spots where it's going to be a really good fucking match.
Yeah, definitely.
So, no matter what, Riddle's not going to look bad coming out of this.
No.
And Finn's going to look, dominant. So.
Yeah. So I got Finn. Who do you got?
Oh, I got Finn.
All right, and then we got. Looks like the last match. A triple threat winner faces Adam Cole at Survivor Series. Pete Dunne versus Killian Dane versus Damian Priest.
I want to say Pete Dunne because that's what I want to see.
Me too. I would like Pete Dunne with as long as he's been around, all the great matches he's had. I like to see him
And
have.
if you're going to showcase NXT at Survivor Series, that's how you do it.
Plus, it also showcases NXT UK as well, so it kind of pulls double duty. And then you're like, oh, who is he? Then you see him with the UK title, and they're like, okay, who's got it now? Who has had it? Tyler Bate, first one. Then it must be done. Now it's Walter. It's a very short line, so it's a pretty prestigious title at the moment until they start bearing it. But NXT's been doing pretty good at protecting their titles. So, yeah, I got Pete Dunne. I definitely don't see Killian Dane winning. Damian Priest is probably next one up, but yeah, I'll take Pete Dunne just because he definitely deserves that showcase. All right, then we got Survivor Series. We got the WWE Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio in a no-holds-barred, no DQ. Ugh. I want Rey, but I'm going to take Brock. I got a feeling it's going to be a squash match, which would be a shame, but with how they tend to book Brock, but...
No, I think they're going to have, Ray's going to have the bat with them right away, so we'll get some quick offense.
Yeah.
Brock starts, turns the tables on him, and I think Kane's going to come out.
Yeah. Either him or Dominic.
Because they made Kane look so weak.
They really did. Too. That was one of the worst debuts.
They both could come down.
Yeah. Man, Cain Velasquez.
It would make Ray look not as strong, but I mean, it's fucking Brock Lesnar. What else are you going to do?
Yeah, it's going to take some weapons to him. No DQ. So, yeah, definitely expect some shit to go down. But
some shenanigans.
Yeah. What if it's like a double turn where Cain Velasquez comes down, but then he beats up on Rey Mysterio?
That'd be tragic.
Yeah, me and Brock are buds now,
Turns out we have a lot in common, Go to the gym at the same time.
Yeah, we both like punching people. It's like, yeah, brothers for life. Well,
I mean, to be fair, Rey Mysterio is the only one that killed somebody.
Yeah.
So I mean, come on, Brock, what you got?
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I'm so sad they're not doing that triple threat with the main titles.
Anybody, though. I was just playing.
With like Adam Cole, The Fiend, and Brock Lesnar. When I first saw that being promoted, I was so fucking excited. But then, they're just doing regular title matches. But to be honest, I'd rather see the triple threat just because when are you going to see those three?
Triple threat would be crazy.
When are you going to see them in the ring again? But,
It'd be weird to see. They're three completely different, personas and athletes. And
yeah.
That style.
It would definitely be a clusterfuck. It would. God, I can't even imagine how that would go. I mean, probably the Fiend would win just because of he's kind of the newer one.
Yeah,
with kind of the mystique, but
ominous memes.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Fiend, I got the Universal title. The Fiend as champion going in to face Daniel Bryan.
The Fiend's gonna take it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty short
after
build.
That, he's gonna collect Daniel Bryan.
Daniel
and make him one of his.
Daniel will make it competitive. He'll make it look good. That'll be a good match.
Fuck yeah, that match is gonna be dope.
Yeah, the Fiend will win. I got the Fiend pretty confidently. This I'm excited for. Basically the equivalent to the men's that I wanted. Women's Championship triple threat. I mean it's not on the line, but got Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Shayna Baszler.
I want to say Becky, but I think that's because it's a safe choice.
Mm-hmm.
But I can estimate that match is going to be pretty fucking excellent as well.
Yeah, I'm
expecting some good things, Vince.
Yeah,
Santa knows about it.
I'm gonna go underdog. I'm gonna say Bayley because
that'd probably be smart.
You could definitely
That'd be smart because Becky can withstand the blow.
Yeah.
Shayna's still in NXT, and it's a triple
Yeah.
threat.
Shayna's lost the title before. I mean, obviously they're not going to lose the title, but you know, if any one of them needs to be shined up to promote that brand, it's probably
It's
Bailey.
definitely Bailey.
And she would be the most unexpected. So maybe like a surprise win.
I feel like Sasha should stop hanging out with Bailey
She hasn't done a whole lot.
on television. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing for her, and I don't know what it's doing for Bailey.
And that's such a shame because Sasha's really good, but she hasn't had a whole lot to do since going on SmackDown. So, I mean, other than getting
She
that,
should go be a proper heel and fuck some people up.
yeah, I mean, other than getting that remix of her theme music from Snoop,
Yeah, with Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Lion.
Fuck yeah, I was cool with that.
All right, well, and we got the mid-card champion match, triple threat. This one should be good. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Roderick Strong, the U.S. champion, Intercontinental, and the North American champion. Ooh, I don't know.
I feel like that's gonna be a fun match, but
It definitely will. Roderick.
my personal bias says AJ Styles.
Yeah, he's definitely the favorite just because of the prestige. And to make the OC look dominant.
But I don't think the other two would be hurt by losing in this match either.
No, I mean, they've buried Shinsuke enough to where it won't affect him too much, and Roderick will still look good.
It'll give something for Sammy to talk about.
Yeah. I like Roderick Strong to win just because Undisputed Era, but I'm going to take Shinsuke Nakamura just because, again, I think they need to build him back up. Now, AJ Styles, that's the thing. The U.S. and the Intercontinental title could really both use a shining. So I'm going to say either of them, but I'm going to go with Shinsuke just because.
Who would you have take the title off AJ?
Who's that guy going after him now? I can't think of his name.
Alberto.
The most immediate one I could think of
Something.
is
That cat with the big ass dimples.
Yeah, God, I can't think of his name, but he's really good. But I'd probably like to see Andrade Cien Almas to take it. He was a really good NXT champion.
He'd be good.
I
like that he does the Three Amigos.
He's so underutilized. He's a fucking workhorse. He could do a lot of shit. And that match with him and
that Selena is dope.
That
pairing is excellent.
Definitely, yeah. And so I like to see him do it. Samoa Joe maybe, but Samoa Joe's already had the U.S. title, so I'd like to see him move up. But
yeah, I want to see him be a champion, and I want to see him be a WWE champion. So it's cool
definitely,
that title is on Raw. Because I think that would be the better fit. And he's been doing good on commentary. You can tell he's just enjoying his time while he heals and tries to stay active. I like Samoa Joe, man. I want that motherfucker to have the title.
Definitely. I am. All right. Well, the next one is the tag team equivalent. We got the Viking Raiders. To me, they're always the War Raiders. Versus they're the Raw tag team champions versus the SmackDown champions, the New Day. That's Kofi and Big E versus Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. I gotta take Undisputed. Not only because they're probably my favorite group on the planet right now, but Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are just great.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Viking Raiders too, but
I want to take the Viking Raiders just because of they've been so fucking dominant on television.
Yeah, and they are being booked so weird where I have never seen a champion have so many back-to-back matches with like local like talent slash squash matches.
Yeah, and
It seems
this
like
is
all their matches are just quick little squash matches. It's like,
that's why this would be a good way to make them like prove it, you know?
yeah,
Like this would underline everything that they're trying to say.
yeah,
Or else
but
why else are you going to fucking put them in this situation?
yes.
And the way they won it was big too. And then it feels like yeah, you know, they go it was a big ass win.
Yeah.
And then they do the squash matches over and over again.
I would say the War Raiders
they keep fucking up, they're gonna fuck up that title.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the War Raiders probably need it the most. The New Day is an established team. War Raiders, they're really fucking good. And they have a lot of chemistry with
Yeah, I like watching them in the ring too.
yeah, they have a lot of history with the Undisputed Era too, so that'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, spark some new.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna
Or
take
some
Undisputed just
old
because
vendettas.
you know I'm biased as hell. But that'll be a fun
There
match
you go.
too.
Bias are fun, man.
Uh,
AJ Styles.
Men's Survivor Series elimination match. We got Team Raw: Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet versus Team SmackDown: Roman Reigns, King Corbin, Muhammad Ali. Not Muhammad Ali. Sorry, Mustafa Ali.
I'm like Ali in his prime or new Ali because new Ali is not
Seemed
gonna
like
do
it'd be
much.
a
I don't want
Shorty
him in that
G.
match.
God. And Braun Strowman versus Team NXT. They do not receive. They do not. They do not have Team NXT released. Though I would say you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They don't have the names released.
They have
It's
not
this
announced
weekend.
it. I would say probably safe bets are Leo
What the
Rush.
fuck they waiting for? Make me care.
They're probably gonna have Leo Rush. Velveteen Dream. I'm guessing.
Oh yeah.
Probably some NXT UK, maybe
Makes
Tyler
sense.
Bates, maybe probably some
Walter.
Probably Walter, yeah, Walter would be good. Probably to how many is that? They could probably fit in maybe the NXT UK Tag Champions too. I think it's Gallus would be good. Just because I think they'll probably want to leave off maybe Drew Gulak. He's NXT now, so you know.
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, it's hard to say without knowing who NXT has, but I would say Velveteen Dream and Leo Rush are probably safe bets. Maybe I don't know, with so many of them are pulling double duty. I like to think they'll probably
there's-
give some of them a rest if they can, like Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have any more repeats.
I mean, Matt Riddle. I mean, Keith Lee could be in it.
You might as well have Adam Cole do it again. Fuck it.
Adam Cole still got his title match though that night. So
That's what I'm saying. You're already working them. No. I don't know who they're gonna put in this.
yeah, it's. Then again, I don't know, with Kevin Owens being kind of
It could be an opportunity
like
to turn
asked to
somebody.
join. Maybe Kevin Owens switches
Yeah.
mid match or something.
I
Maybe
can
like
see
a
that.
betrayal. That'd be kind of cool.
And then he gets Seth to go with them.
Keep Seth
Just
the fuck
go
out of
Seth.
NXT. I mean, it would probably be good for him, but I don't want him in NXT. I don't want him.
Not to dominate, not to win. I don't want that motherfucker to win.
Yeah. Well, I guess given
I
what
don't know,
we
maybe
have,
he goes to indie films.
given the information we have, I'm going to go with SmackDown because you got Braun Strowman, who theoretically could just go and dominate all of them at once. And Roman Reigns, being Roman Reigns, will go Roman Reigns on people. And Mustafa Ali and Shorty G could use a bit of shining up too, because they seem to lose everything they're in.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to see Shorty G win.
Yeah, so
yeah, SmackDown. I think I go with SmackDown with you. Although I don't like King Corbin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like everybody else could benefit.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got the Women's Survivor Series elimination match. Team Raw is Charlotte Flair and Natalya, the Kabuki Warriors, which I thought that was odd, given that they're supposed to be on all 3 shows and they're on Team Raw. But whatever. And Sarah Logan.
Yeah, that's an odd choice.
I mean, they could have had like Alexa Bliss on there. Or is she on SmackDown? I don't even know. I haven't seen her in a while.
I think she got drafted to SmackDown, but I think there was a trade somehow too or something.
Well, she's dating.
I haven't seen her.
She's dating Buddy Murphy, so she might be with him, and he's on Raw now. Then you got
she's knocking on Aleister Black's door.
Yeah,
knocking on Aleister's door.
Yeah, it's so. And then you got Sasha Banks for SmackDown, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Nikki Cross.
Not that one.
Team NXT has also not been picked. I imagine Dakota Kai will be in that because she's not announced for NXT's
They're
War
really
Games.
demanding a lot of these NXT wrestlers.
We got I imagine quite a few of them from War Games will be in there.
Telling you, they better get a dope ass bonus.
I mean, maybe Kaylee Ray. She's the NXT UK champion. She'll probably join Dakota Kai. She doesn't have a match scheduled. She's really good. She'll probably go in. I imagine Candice LeRae, just because she's just like that, she'll probably go in. Candice LeRae's a lot like her husband, where she just works and works and works and works and works. So I don't think they can really keep her off. I'm sure they'll try to.
Fill a spot.
God damn, they're using so much of their women in there, though. I don't know. That's a rough match for anyone. So, and a lot of them seem to be injured. Probably Io Shirai. I don't know. Again, it's hard to say. So without the proper information, it's hard to pick them.
Maybe we did this a day early.
I'm gonna go with Raw.
I wish they would have.
I'm gonna go with Raw just because
I mean, they could have. They could have gone easier on this too.
Yeah, I mean, you got Charlotte Flair and the Kabuki Warriors, so I think they need to kind of. I think that's kind of the obvious way to go. I mean, Carmella sneaks things in every now and again. Lacey Evans, I think they're gonna keep trying to book her well. I don't
think they'd have Charlotte lose in a match like this.
Yeah, I know they're trying
especially when one of the teams isn't even picked.
Yeah, they're trying to give more attention to Dana Brooke too lately, but without knowing NXT's, I'm gonna take. I mean, assuming at least Dakota Kai and maybe Kaylee Ray. I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting. Then we got the NXT Championship. Adam Cole versus To Be Determined, and that's at Killian Dane, Damian Priest, Pete Dunne. We both picked Pete Dunne, so I'll have to assume that, though. Probably stick with Adam Cole because...
Yeah, I'm sure he'll keep it. He's been on fire for this whole fucking takeover.
Yeah, though that would be quite a rub-up, though. You have Adam Cole show up, beat Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, all these guys, and then, say, assuming Pete Dunne, he shows up, wins that Survivor Series. That'll be quite the fucking rub-up, It's like, oh shit, who the hell is this guy now? He beat the guy that beat all
they
them.
launched that motherfucker.
So, might be a good way to bump someone up. in the eyes of the public.
Yeah, he deserves a spotlight too. I
He
like
does.
his work.
He's a very hard worker. So Leo Rush probably will not be in that NXT match because he has an NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. It's Leo Rush versus Angel Garza.
I'm gonna say Leo because they've been making him look pretty good lately,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been doing good.
Yeah,
So I'd like to see him with the title a little longer.
he's only had it for a little bit,
Yeah,
after facing Drew Gulak. So yeah, and he's definitely a talent. I know him and Angel faced each other on NXT, and it was for the title, and Rush won, but there was some controversy with it where, where
controversies.
where Garza had his foot on the rope and the ref didn't see. So that's the reason for the rematch. So they'll probably be on the pre-show though. Which is So it's called the NXT Cruiserweight Championship now. So yeah, it looks like they're completely done with 205.
Yeah, that's when. Well, when I saw him win the belt, as when I noticed it's at NXT. And then I was like, where the fuck happened?
I don't know. Looks like once they just moved it to Fox, they
They did that Seattle Sonics shit.
I mean, they showed it, I think, on the debut, on WWE Network. But after that, it seems like they just canceled it like the day of, like on a tape in a SmackDown. They're just like, okay, we're done with 205 Live. We're not going to do it. Like short notice kind of thing. Well, that's Survivor Series. So it should be interesting. Looking at the matches.
I wonder what they're going to do.
I'm actually kind of curious about a lot of them. It's kind of a shame to not have the men's triple threat equivalent to all these, but so it'll be interesting to see how long the show runs with all these matches. But
I'm very excited for this weekend. I think.
Yeah, man, all these matches
I'm
look
expecting
actually
this show
good.
to be pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see this one.
And it'll definitely be interesting to see how the NXT style is like showcased with all this, or are they gonna kind of
Yeah,
mainstream
because they're
it?
bleeding a lot into the show.
Yeah, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how they do it. Well, those two are out of the way. That leaves. You want to talk about AEW for a bit? Full Gear, all that shit. They're bringing back Bash at the beach, which is pretty fucking cool.
That's right.
Yeah, they're
There's
gonna
all that AEW stuff left.
Yeah, they're bringing back fucking Bash at the beach, and they're gonna film an episode of Dynamite on Chris Jericho's cruise line, which is like, what?
Yeah, I knew about that. I listened to his podcast. So
That
he
is
advertises
so
it a lot.
fucking
Normally,
wild. I cannot believe it, but I'm so excited. Ooh,
it's fantastic.
I
The
cannot
first
believe
year he did Ring of Honor guys.
yes. Before can't believe we forgot to bring it up. What are your thoughts on CM Punk coming back at that WWE backstage?
Feels like a wasted opportunity. But also I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Phil Brooks wanted.
Yeah.
So I mean, he got a good job. He got a good job. I don't think he's gonna wrestle again. He doesn't look intrigued in doing it at all.
He's in like his 40s now, and he turned down AEW. So,
I think
they offered him a contract
with the Fox network is good with him.
Yeah,
So, I mean that's exciting for him.
it's a paycheck.
He should have stayed out the Octagon. So, I mean, it's not that. So that's a good move for that.
Yeah, from what I could tell though, I think he's got a deal with Fox and not so much WWE. Because
that's why they didn't use a Cult of Personality or something.
Yeah. They probably gonna get the licensing to it. So,
which is weird because he used it in UFC.
Yeah. Well, either way. So that'll be exciting to watch. So what did you think
of? Have you watched Backstage at all?
I watched the
I
first.
have yet to catch an episode.
I watched the first episode I think that they did, and it was okay. You know, they had a Christian on there, and as a guest.
Do they have it on the network? Do you know?
I think it's only on Fox, but they do replay it
Hulu
from time to time. It might be on Hulu. I don't have Hulu right now, so I'm not exactly positive.
Hulu.
But they also play it on Fox Sports Network, like for reruns as well.
I'll find it somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm curious because Booker T's on it, right?
Yeah, he's on it, and John Moxley's wife.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was.
I can't think of her name.
I didn't even think about Renee.
Such a shame.
Renee Young.
Renee Young, yes.
It went John Moxley's.
Yeah.
She put that tweet. What was it? Please, John. During the Full Gear match.
During the match, she was like tweeting out shit. Like she was nervous.
Smart
and
play. It was a good move.
I mean, I can't blame her. I mean, you watch your lover get, treated like that.
There's no shield over there, Renee. There's no shield over there.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of fake barbed wire and sugar glass.
What do you think of how AEW is doing? I know we
pulling
kind
the
of
fucking mattress mat back. Hold on. Let's talk about this for a second. They pulled the mattress mat, or not the mattress, the wrestling mat.
Yeah, like the wooden part
back to the fucking base, and did spots on that motherfucker. Jesus.
Yeah, man, that's like
that was probably the most dangerous part of it for me. Was I was like,
definitely, yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have somebody do that to me.
I mean, that was like a Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano match after a while, because where they would lift up the matting outside and then they'd power bomb each other like fucking like on the cement. And it's like, God damn. So
I mean, if you want to do it, by all means, who am I to tell you?
I wouldn't want to do it. I'd be
I wouldn't do it.
I'd be calling in for like a month.
They're not gonna pay you more to do it.
Then fucking John Moxley showed up the fucking following week and fucking wrestled anyway. It was just God damn. Yeah, I know for a little bit for Full Gear, we watched the Young Bucks match, and then you had to take off. But
yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean,
what a night that was.
Yeah, it was odd, but it was kind of interesting because we were watching it with my fiance and probably my oldest friend, and they both watched wrestling, but they've been out of it for a while, and so
they had a lot of questions.
This is like their first AEW show they watched, and they seemed really into it, which, I mean, that's kind of the eye test, where they're like, ooh, So I'd say for the uninitiated or kind of like, young eyes, so to speak, I would say Full Gear passed the test for like new viewership.
Well, it's a huge change of pace. It is attention grabbing, and that's the perks of all those high spots and all the fucking 40 moves in 30 seconds bit. You know what I'm saying? That it's easy to be attracted to the product, and they look like they're doing good with the storytelling too. So that's gonna help. I don't get the Awesome Kong and the cutting of the hair bit.
That's really like
I'm not too far behind on Sean Spears.
Yeah, I mean, the hair thing's probably one of the few real blemishes I could see, and it's not even that big of one. But, it's odd, But it is what it is.
But that main event picture, it's a beautiful fucking picture.
That pay-per-view did so good with making new. I mean, they basically remade. the idea for the World Championship match where they have the 3 judges and it's all like former wrestlers, I love that idea. Where if the time limit hits and it comes to a decision, you have former wrestlers. Where I love that idea so much. Where instead of like a WWE where you got like, Goldberg coming and Barry and Dolph Ziggler, you could have all these iconic, AEW keeps bringing, and that's something AEW does so well too, and we kind of mentioned it earlier with WWE kind of seemingly almost ashamed of their past, where AEW is almost like leaning into it, where they're bringing back all these old wrestlers. And, they're not.
A lot of that has to do with Cody having his heritage in wrestling. He was bred in the company, like that NWA scene, like especially with the territory wrestling. All that was it was a proud community. So there's no way he would turn away from it, and that's why we see people like,
where you got
Midnight Express.
Yeah, where they're watching
doing a fucking suicide dive and shit. Jesus.
That was amazing for an old guy. He
did so well too, and he sprung right back up. Good for you, buddy.
Yeah, he did. So it's I don't know how to explain this. It's nice to still showcase these guys because they gave their health and a lot of their time for the business. So it's nice to showcase them, but without burying people.
When you see stories like Jake the Snake Roberts,
yes,
it was like,
yes. So that,
like, man, these guys aren't taken care of. It's really just when it's your time, and then it's not.
Mm-hmm. Where like DDP shows up every now and again in like a Star Trek uniform, or he'll during the Cody and Dusty match. Brandy
I like DDP though.
Brandy was freaking out.
I'm happy every time I see him.
Brandy was freaking out on Dusty, and DDP just carried Brandy out over his shoulder and walked out of the stage. It's just little things. And with the judges, you had like Dean Malenko and Arn Anderson, which fucking Jesus Christ, the Four Horsemen.
Those are the guys.
I can't think of who the third one is, but that is such a great opportunity to showcase other legends. You could have like Steen in there, fucking God. The possibilities are endless. Obviously WWE will try to then put legends under contract, like Ted DiBiase. You cannot go over there. We forbid it.
Yeah, but I don't think they do it. You'd have to put a really hefty price on that.
Yeah.
The legends, they're fucking past it. They're just
like, fuck you, I'm going to do it. So like Bret Hart, that Bret Hart, that salty motherfucker will probably do it.
AEW.
And,
he's going to.
Yeah.
And they'll accept him. They'll love him over there.
Mm-hmm. So that's something I really like. And that ending to that title match was really interesting too, where, Chris is just, like kind of stomping on Cody's head and MJF throws in the towel. Which, again, it's so different where, Cody puts that stipulation on himself where he's like, if I don't win, I won't go after the title anymore. And then he loses it, kind of against his will. And then you use that to put over MJF against him, which MJF is such a good fucking heel.
Yeah, that promo after the fact was pretty dope.
He really fucking loves it. And you can tell he really digs it, which is always fun to see someone that actually really thrives in that role. So that's always good. And my God, AEW has only been going for what, month and a half, and their tag team scene is so fucking strong right now.
Here's the thing: the tag teams themselves are just, their division is fantastic. It's way too much. But my only grievance with this division, like it matters anyways, but why is the referee always stupid during the matches?
Yeah.
Like, like every match is a tornado tag. That
Yeah.
doesn't. You gotta build the drama a little more. You can't just do like 3 minutes of like play and then prison rules for the last. Just fucking conduct yourself like a referee. It's weird. You can't have time, like time limits and judges, and then not have a referee who controls what's going on in the ring. You know, it takes me away from it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's the flashy move thing. If you gotta slow the pace a little bit, build some drama. You know, that's why the Cody and Jericho fucking feud is so dope right now. You know, there's all that drama because it's almost milked.
Yeah, definitely.
But then the fucking teams, you know, LAX, the Lucha Brothers are my fucking favorite right now.
Yeah, fucking SCU. You got
They are fantastic.
what is it? A Boy and His Dinosaur? Is it like Dinosaur Express or Jungle Express?
Yeah, Dinosaur Express. Yeah,
Whatever the hell they call them now. You got the Dark Order, which they're really the only ones that's really kind of, they're not that fleshed
they're
out.
slacking.
Yeah, but you know, you got the Best Friends.
Best Friends, Private Party.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
motherfuckers are dope.
There's a lot of them, and it's great, you know. And their women's scene is going pretty good too. You know, you got goddamn, I can't think of her name, the dentist. I know she's a dentist. Oh, I gotta mention it every time, but I can't think of her name. It's Adam Cole's
Britt
wife.
Baker.
Britt Baker, that's it. You know.
Yeah,
She's
I had to search for that one.
Yeah, Sakura.
Yeah,
I think is
the female wrestlers are really good.
Mm-hmm. But
I like that champion.
yeah. She's
Fucking,
like 95 pounds, and she just does a bunch of fucking knees and shit, and how she gets out of pins is really cool.
she's different. I like her.
And
She's like a Pokemon trainer, you know. She's friendly and shit. She just beats ass and then just leaves all happy and shit.
it's also interesting to see how they're kind of leaning into the wins and loss thing, where last time we mentioned how Pac would always mention it, and Pac's lost, but it's weird how he's like such a defiant heel, but is like to the letter of the law, where he refuses to break the rules because he wants to win so badly. Yet, if the match ends or whatever, he'll just go fucking crazy on you. He'll beat you with a chair or whatever the hell. So,
well, yeah, because the match is over.
Yeah. By the way, it's like a little
sportsmanship, man.
Yeah, there's like a little game I want to start counting. Every time Pac is thrown into a barricade, you know, you gotta count it. I swear to God, like when they're
They
planning,
got them old school barricades too, man.
I swear to God, when he plans out these things, it's like he wants to get thrown into the barricade. It's like, all right, you know, we'll grab each other, you know, go back and forth a little bit, you know, and I'll chop you. And Pac's like, then you'll throw me into the barricade. It's like, all right.
Maybe
sure.
that's where he gets his kicks, man.
It's like 2-3 times a match they throw him into the barricade, and I love. It's kind of funny
like,
once you really start to realize it, but
it's like every time Billy Gunn was 30 feet away from Bradshaw, he would get clothesline from hell. It's just sometimes there's that magnet, you know. It's like no matter what, like sometimes Bradshaw would just come in and just clothesline him to hell, just so he could do that little flip.
Mm-hmm. Or hey, you know, God, it's so funny. Yeah. There's a lot of really good stuff with AEW, and I'm excited to see them bring in like a mid-card belt. I know Cody has talked about it.
Yeah, I'm waiting
Cody's
for
talked about it being like a TV title.
because they have a bunch of talent.
But
that'd be dope. I'd take that.
Yeah, I'm not sure though, and I don't think they really know yet either. But it'll be exciting to see.
Do you watch AEW Dark at all?
I have not watched it, but I keep up with it, like what's going on,
There's
kind of.
some good fucking wrestling that happens on that show.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's just it's a lot with all the work and all that, and with all the other wrestling.
Yeah,
It's
this stuff piles on, man. We got what we asked for, and now it's
yeah. I
that
mean,
was a lot of what we asked for.
I might just drop Raw and SmackDown, watch AW, NXT, maybe pick up some Impact, maybe get a little third brand in there. I know they have Ring of Honor on.
The secret is to find YouTube highlights.
Yeah.
They can press
Definitely.
them in 30-minute bits.
I mean, anywhere
Or I
RVD
listen to it
goes,
when
I
I'm
gotta
at work.
follow.
I think RVD is fantastic forever.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping to see a 5-star Frog Splash when he came back. For that one night, but nah, he just did some Legends shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting a little older, you know.
He is.
It makes sense. I
makes me feel older.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember his matches with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I remember.
Let's talk about RVD for a second. I love this motherfucker. When he got fired from WWE for having all that pot in the car with Sabu, I was like, no, not RVD.
Mm-hmm. He is
And
such
also,
a great
every
seller
time
too.
Shane does he's one of the best.
Like
when he did that feud with Kane, that's what made the Kane unmasking worth it for me because of how RVD conducted himself in those matches.
Yeah, it's
fucking dope.
Yeah, I love him. Well, there's also another thing. Who would you out of the Brads like for the month so far? Who would you say is kind of like the MVP of like this month?
Who's got the most stock?
Yeah, who's like the most valuable person? Like
I'm gonna say Adam Cole.
Yeah, Adam Cole. I'm kind of
leaning. The Fiend
leaning.
is a second.
I'm leaning a bit towards John Moxley myself, just because of the great shit he's doing.
Oh, with AEW. I thought you meant just WWE. Yeah, John Moxley for sure.
Well,
His
yeah.
promos.
Well, I mean,
been
like
undeniable.
broad spectrum, or if you want to do like each show, like MVP of Raw, MVP of SmackDown, NXT, AEW, whatever. But
no, we can do total.
Yeah,
all the
totals.
wrestlers in one pot.
I mean, it's also hard not to. I mean, to kind of take a cheap way out. Just pick an NXT in general. Just with them pulling double duty.
I'm gonna pick. Even though Jericho got pinned in his last match, I gotta take Jericho.
Yeah, he's doing such a great job with that.
I'm so happy he's over there. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, he'll be.
This character is really different than things, and it makes sense with the last thing that he did with the scarf. I like that he made fun of the scarf in AEW. It's like, you want me to take you seriously? Wearing a scarf? Who wears a scarf?
It's so fucking funny, and that's what I like about that show is just the humor. Where like LAX was I think they're going after the Young Bucks, and they throw him through that bathroom door, and Orange Cassidy's just sitting in the bathroom. He's just standing in the bathroom, just leaning there with his buckets. Like Ortiz just like slowly closes the door. It's like in all that brawling, you just get this random moment like that, and that's one of those things
But
I
it
miss.
makes sense, because you're backstage. People's doing some shit.
Yeah, and that's one of those things I miss with the Attitude Era is that when you were seeing the backstage, it felt alive and full of character, where you'd see people doing their own shit. And WWE tries to do that when they bring back all the older guys during like that. I think it was that 25th anniversary or whatever the hell it was, where they kept doing all these skits backstage. And I'm like, this is a lot like how it used to be. And AEW reminds me a lot of that, where there's just a lot going on back there. Serious, fun. It's a lot of stuff. And, man, it's just one of those little things that I really appreciate. But
That's good, man. See, the wrestling tide is turning. You know,
yeah, I mean, Raw and
things are looking
SmackDown
up.
are, they're doing their own thing, which, whatever,
It'll get better when
You know,
when Triple
it's
H takes over.
again, it's easy to harp on, stuff when they're not doing good, but it, you know, wrestling's an imperfect thing, and
Well, I mean, we also have to remember that they make so much more money than we do.
yeah,
So who gives a fuck about our opinion? They're gonna make money regardless. But also, I like what I like, and I want to like the wrestling that I used to like a bunch. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah,
It'd be cool to have that certain type of wrestling back. Not like the type we grew up on, but just quality product, quality. Uh,
yeah,
just
I mean,
time. You know, we spend our time watching this. We won't make it worth it for us.
I mean, like in this day and age, everyone's so into nostalgia, and I know nostalgia is a big part of this podcast, and Disney Plus or the Marvel movies, or all these remakes. So you know, it's easy for us to reminisce, and I'm sure it's easy for a lot of you. They'll think it back to the '80s or whatever. It's like, oh, things are better when the Ultimate Warrior was, doing his thing. But you know, that's why it's good to really support,
Which Ultimate Warrior? Hold on, which one?
the uh, I mean, the one people think of,
Exactly.
where it's like super
Huh?
protected and shit.
No, I mean nostalgia is important, but I mean just I think what it was in the '90s was there was a certain spirit about it.
Yeah,
Like
there's
forget the presentation or the type of booking decisions you make, but it's all about the spirit that you have behind the product. And there was that
Mhm.
certain vibe back in that decade with wrestling. You really felt it going into the mid '90s when they started spotlighting Sean and Brett more. But then they
Yeah.
hit that stride, and you could tell that everybody just wanted each show to be really fucking dope. And now it just feels like people are just clocking in. So the thing that they're missing is that spirit again, and the AEW coming in that fucking propels it more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vince just needs to fucking
You,
cool his jets on some of the stuff and just have fun again, man.
yeah, and when you're doing something for that long, you know, it's probably hard to think of it as fun, especially with how much he's in the business. So it's understandable if he thinks of it like work, and he just doesn't have the passion for it, and then it's fine. Vince is only human.
But
There's no reason why he's got to do it all by himself. But
no,
that's
he
also
absolutely and he shouldn't be stubborn about it either. Like if it's truly not your passion anymore, just find a new one. Your time is better spent somewhere else. And if it's with the XFL, God bless. I quit music because I fell out of love with it. I wasn't drawn to it anymore. So I didn't do something else. It's a human thing. It's coming through the product, and I'm still watching. They still get my money. I just gave them money so I can go see them live.
yeah, man.
But it's one of those things where it rolls down the hill, man. If he ain't happy doing it, and he's making things worse off for wrestlers who feel neglected or misrepresented, especially if you have an image on a T-shirt you don't approve of. All these things that just that brighter mood fucking changes things.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
working with.
oops,
Ooh.
sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
you go ahead. You have a
Go ahead.
conviction there.
I was I was gonna clock out, but you were gonna say something, so go ahead.
No. Oh, if this is a clock out, that's I'm fine with that.
All right.
It's 2:09 in the morning, Greg.
Yeah, it's late, and I work 2 jobs tomorrow, so that'll be fun. And
You work 2 jobs tomorrow?
Yep, and the rest of the week.
Well, you're gonna need your rest, buddy.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm usually going off 3 hours of sleep, so
That's all right. The Saturday where I'm gonna go to NXT Takeover, more games. In the morning, I'm gonna work 5. I'm gonna start work at 5 in the morning and work to 12:30. So it's gonna be a long ass day. I might have to drink 2 bangs. Bang.
Yeah. Well, that's all good.
Bang.
You have a good time there. Yes.
Oh no, I'm gonna have the worst time. It's gonna be dreadful.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for listening.
I'm gonna wear a Bullet Club T-shirt.
There you go. Yeah.
It's gonna be too sweet.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for listening to the Bearded Synergy Podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. You get the idea. We're on Google it. You'll find it. And don't forget to review the show, like us on YouTube.
Bing? Can they use Bing?
Yeah. You got to share us around somewhere we can find us. If you review it, rate it, like us on YouTube, it will help other people find it when they're searching.
And that'll be helpful
for our stuff. And that's all we want, man. We want some of that.
There are a little more people. Y'all could tell us what you want to hear us talk about. We could play games with y'all.
Definitely, yeah.
I'll give away old shoes. Maybe an instrument or 2. I have several instruments.
Yeah. There you go. Well, you guys enjoy Survivor Series, War Games, and we will talk to you next week.
But bye, motherfuckers. Today's Bearded Synergy Podcast is recorded out of 2 different locations. Greg finds himself in Boston, Wisconsin, and Joe records in Rolling Meadows, Illinois. Intro music and outro music done by Joe. Drumming in the outro by Andrew Pentecost. Distribution and damn near most of that social media work is done by Greg himself. Bam. Till next time, keep your beards.